Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to County Court at Law Number 2. My name is Judge Terrence Holmes. I'm the presiding judge here in County Court at Law Number 2. This morning, we have two dockets. We have an announcement docket and we have a hearing docket. When I call your name, please come forward with your attorney. If your attorney is not here, your attorney may be in another court handling another matter, and we will wait for your attorney to arrive. Now, if you're not represented by an attorney, when I call your name, you'll come before the court by yourself. First case is cause number 24-CCCR-0990, case in Style of State of Texas versus Nadia Joe Rubin. Ms. Rubin, your full name is Nadia Joe Rubin. How are you doing, Ms. Rubin? That's good. Now, Ms. Rubin, the last time you was here, your case was reset from 1 week. You stated that you had hired James Paget, and Mr. Paget has not sent a letter of representation to the court. Okay, so how much time do you need to hire Mr. Paget? A month? Okay, let's reset our case. This is gonna be your last reset.
March 14th.
Okay, this case will be reset to March 14th, 2025. You're gonna get your reset from the court coordinator. Once you get your reset from the court coordinator, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. You are. Next case is Hector Luis Torres Dominguez.
He's present, Judge.
Oh.
For a plea today.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
and is the same announcement on your other case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Percy Tyrone Bernard is on Zoom. Mr. Doyle, would you please come forward? Mr. Bernard, you could take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bernard, how are you doing?
I'm all right, Judge. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Bernard, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Peter Doyle. Attorney Doyle, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Now, Mr. Doyle, what is your announcement in Mr. Bernard's case?
Well, it was gonna be Mr. Bernard is we're in Houston because he had to go to the doctor and we couldn't get it. Okay to do that, but I didn't know he could do Zoom, so I don't have any announcement except ask for 60 days or 30 days.
Why you need 60 days?
I need to complete this stuff so I can sit down and talk with Mr. Bernard. I don't even remember him coming to my house.
Okay, now you were appointed on this case back in September of 2024.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna set this on a pre-trial conference doc.
Okay.
Okay, standard 30 days. Now, Mr. Bernard.
Yes, sir.
Hold on a minute.
March 10th.
Okay, your case is gonna be reset to March 10th, 2025. On that day, you need to be here in court in person. And it's gonna be set on what we call a pre-trial conference docket. Stay in contact with your attorney and your bondsman. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
I
and
never-
yes, Maya Joseph. That's what it is. Ms. Joseph, your name is Shemaiah Joseph?
Yes.
Now, Ms. Joseph, you need to take the gum out your mouth. There's a trash can to the right in front. No, it's on the side of the bed. right there. Ms. Joseph, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Ms. Joseph, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Peter Doyle. Mr. Doyle, what is your announcement in Ms. Joseph's case?
The 30-day thing. Same.
You need a reset?
Yes, sir.
Well, apparently that may be a good day for him. Yeah. Yeah, keep it, what is it? March 14th. Okay, his case will be reset to March 14th. Ms. Joseph, you're gonna get your reset from our coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Okay. Terrell Nichols. Nichols, would you please come forward? Ms. Nichols, your full name is Terrell Elliott Nichols.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Nichols?
How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Nichols, you're represented by your attorney, Peter Doyle. In this case, Mr. Doyle, what is your announcement in Mr. Nichols' case?
We'd like to put it on that 30-day.
You're gonna reset this till, the same date, March 14th. Okay, for announcement. Case will be reset to March 14th for announcement. Stay in contact with your attorney and your advisor. You're gonna get your reset from our coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Gary Senegal the third. I see
He's
that.
got 3 cases, and I have the impression.
Yeah, Gary
It is.
Senegal the third. I thought he said he was here. Senegal. Your full name is Gary Senegal the third. How you doing, Mr. Senegal? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Senegal. You're represented in your cases by your attorney, Peter Doyle. And Attorney Doyle, what's your announcement in these cases?
Either 30 days to put it on the phone.
I mean, I can't make the decision for you. You want it on trial docket or you want to set it for announcement? I mean,
Do 30
pre-trial?
The 30 days, yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna put it on, okay, these cases be reset to March 14th, 2025. Your attorney is gonna be given a reset, but you can get your reset from our court coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Thank you.
I think it's it.
Yes. Mr. Kelly,
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
are you ready on, is that thing?
We're free to.
Yeah, you're free to go. You have a blessed day. What's that thing, Quash?
Present, Your Honor. Mayor Pro.
Oh, yeah, will you please come forward? Is that, did I pronounce the last name right?
Please.
Quash, okay. Okay, this, court is in session, 2 cases, Thang Lang Quash. Ms. Quash, is that your full name?
Ton Quatch. Ton Quatch.
Tom?
Yeah.
Tom Quash, okay,
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
all right. Now, how are you doing, Ms. Quash?
Good.
That's good. Ms. Quash, you're represented by your attorney Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you doing?
Doing well for Friday, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
And Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Ms. Quash's cases?
Your Honor, this is our first appearance together. I think there's still some discovery that we've got to get through. If you'd allow us to stay on this document, please.
Okay, Ms. Quash, your case is gonna be reset. What's the date?
Say on Friday,
Is that,
Friday's fine.
yeah,
March 14th.
okay, it'll be March 14th, 2025. Ms. Quash, you're gonna get your reset from our coordinator. Once you get your reset, you're free to go. And Mr. Kelly, I think these are the only 2 cases. You get your reset, you're free to go as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Oh, oh, did you, I see a case, Willa Hall, Linson B. His client is here. Willa is usually here.
I don't, is that your turn?
Okay, Ruben was reset. We signing him up. They're signing him up. I wonder, yeah. What I need to see before we get these hearings started. Burbank, he's in trial, isn't he?
He's a trial next door CDC judge.
Okay, Rachel Pritchard. How you doing, Ms. Pritchard? Good morning. Now, Ms. Pritchard, your attorney is Tom Burbank. He's currently in trial in the criminal district court. So your case will be reset. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. She's gonna reset your case. Once you get your case reset, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Thank you. Mitchell Rollins. Please come forward. Mr. Rollins, you represented by Burbank as well?
Yes.
Okay, he's in trial in the criminal district court, so your case will be reset. You're gonna get your reset from our coordinator, and you'll be free to go have a seat in that second chair on the walls. Mr. Cole, you are pleading on green?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll call you when it. Okay. Mr. LeBlanc,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, your client is on Zoom. It's cause number 24 CCCR 1920, case of South State of Texas versus Jeffrey Crowder. Mr. Crowder is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Crowder, you can take your mic off of mute.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Crowder?
All right, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Crowder, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Todd LeBlanc and attorney LeBlanc. How are you doing?
Good.
And Mr. LeBlanc, what is your announcement in Mr. Crowder's case?
Judge, if I can give him one more reset.
Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, give us a reset date, March 14th, okay. Mr. Crowder, your case will be reset until March 14th, 2025. On that day, you need to be in court in person. Your attorney and your bond will give a notice of your recess. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Oh, and Mr. LeBlanc, this is your only case. You can get your reset. You'll be free to go as well.
Thank you.
Okay, now, Mr. Allen Parker's case, was that reset?
Yes, sir.
So you hadn't gotten them? So we might get ready to go get started on this on
I just
here.
said one.
So once we get the hearing started, everything else is gonna take a back seat. Probably need to set these hearings at 10:30. I just did hints and that was a dismissal. They put on there so they can listen. Did you? I guess.
Yes, I should. Yeah.
Faith Green. Who's that? Who is her attorney? Giles Cole, he stepped out?
Is it Lee?
Yeah, but her attorney is,
That way.
this cause, court is in session and cause number 24CCCR 2292, case is style of the state of Texas versus Faith S. Green. Ms. Green, is that your full name? Ms. Green, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Green, do you swear firm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Ms. Green, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Green? You doing good? That's good. Ms. Green, you're representing your case by your attorney, Attorney Giles Cole. Attorney Cole, how are you doing?
Great, Judge.
And Mr. Cole, do you waive a record in Ms. Green's case?
Yes, we do.
Ms. Green, state is represented in this case by Attorney Haley Simmons. Attorney Simmons, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Ms. Green, I have before me on my computer a document that is titled information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Faith S. Green, on or about November 30th of 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol concentration levels of 0.15 or more. Ms. Green, do you understand what you have been charged with? And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest? Are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Ms. Green, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of the same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to a box that's checked no contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you've given up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have a document that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Ms. Green, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over? Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Ms. Green, are you a citizen of the United States?
State officer one.
No objection.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Cole, you've advised in counsel, Ms. Green, is there any evidence that she's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, you're not.
Ms. Green, your attorney, Mr. Cole, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes,
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Ms. Green, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
We are abandoning the enhancement in this one, Your Honor.
Okay,
It is a
well,
deferred offer.
you have to
Write it.
put that on here.
oh, it is?
Yeah, because you're gonna have to redo the paperwork.
reach
Because
that.
it said, yeah, it says deferred on this, yeah. She's gonna have to redo the paperwork. All that we just did, Ms. Green, we're gonna have to redo it. Okay. Now, Ms. Green, I have before me a document that is titled, what we're gonna do, we're gonna withdraw a plea to what we just did. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
That's fine.
Okay. Now, Ms. Green, I have before me a document that's titled information. This information alleges that you, Faith S. Green, on or about November 30th, 2023, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated with an alcohol concentration level of 0.15 or more. The state is abandoning enhancement paragraph. Is that correct?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
So the state is abandoning enhancement paragraph, and what that means, instead of you being charged with a Class A misdemeanor, you'll be charged with a lesser included Class B misdemeanor offense of DWI. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And to the Class B misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated, which allegedly occurred on about November 30th, 2023, while you operated a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas. How did you plead guilty? Not guilty, no contest.
Okay.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily. And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? And Ms. Green, I also have a document before me that's titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. This is the same document that you acknowledged earlier. You noticed that there's some writing at the top. And the writing at the top states that the state is abandoning an enhancement paragraph. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials on the line next to boxes checked no contingent. Did you place your initials on this document? And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document, it's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? Second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? And you previously given that document back, discovery certification.
Should be the DWI first box on that second page.
Yeah, you need to check it. You need not B, you need to check it. DWIB.
First page when you're done.
It's gonna be the DWIB.
First, that's right here. Go to the first page real quick.
And Ms. Green, I have before me a document that's titled discovery certification. Recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
And Ms. Green, going back to the initial document, trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal, the box that's checked over here states that this is a Class B misdemeanor, DWI. Range of punishment is minimum 72 hours to a maximum of 180 days in the Jefferson County Jail, or you could be given a fine that does not exceed $4,000, or you could be given more such fine and confinement. I mean, a fine that doesn't exceed $2,000, or you could be given more such fine and confinement. Do you understand that? Range of punishment. Okay. Okay. Now, before you sign and initial all of the documents, well, since you signed and initial all of these documents, is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
And your attorney went over these documents with you?
Yes.
You understood everything that he went over? All right. Ms. Green, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you're a mental incompetent in trial. I also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 15 months deferred probation, $500 fine, 40 hours community service, interlock, and DWI first standard conditions of probation.
Let's go to those. What's the 40 hours of community service? And let's see. Let's go to those community service. Ms. Cole, were you appointed in this case?
Yes, sir.
What's the court cost?
Just a moment.
Okay, Ms. Green, the state is offering that you serve 15 months deferred adjudicated probation. During the 15-month probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500 for school costs of $377. You'll be required to pay probation fee of $60 a month. You're now seeing $15 a month, reimbursement fee of $15 a month. You'll also be required to pay the DOI conviction fine of $100 and reimburse Jefferson County, put upon attorney's fees of $350. Total monthly, and well, you'll also be required to pay Jefferson County DWI education and initial evaluation fee on the day of the police. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $176 a month. Will you be able to pay the $176 each month?
Yes.
You'll also be required to perform 40 hours of community service, install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate, attend a completed DW education class, have an alcohol assessment, and adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of your probation. Ms. Green, do you understand the state's offer? And you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Ms. Green, I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Ms. Green, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not result in a conviction on your record, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Okay. Please stand in front of the court coordinator. And Mr. Cole, this is your last case. Your only
Yes, sir.
case. You're free to go. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Have a great weekend.
All right, same to you. We have any more, please, Ray?
Yeah, we have two, please.
Okay, yeah, she's still working on it.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. Alejandro Hernandez. Okay. Okay, this is cause number 23CC Sierra 2389. Case is style the state of Texas versus Alejandro Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Mr. Hernandez?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Hernandez, you're represented in your case by attorney George Michael Jamal. Hi, Mr. Jamal, how are you doing?
We're doing fine today. Thank you, sir.
That's good. State is represented in this case by attorney Haley Simmons, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jamal, the court has before it a defendant's second amended motion to dismiss. Okay, and this motion was filed by the defense. Would you like to go forward on your motion?
Yep, yes, sir. Okay, I'll just go ahead.
Your Honor, briefly, if I may,
Yes.
the state wants to know the basis of relief in which the defense counsel is seeking. Nowhere in the Code of Criminal Procedure does even allow defense to bring forward a motion to dismiss.
What?
Nowhere in the Code of Criminal Procedure does it allow for the defense or the defendant to bring forward a motion to dismiss to be heard on their behalf.
Okay. Mr. Jamal?
This is a motion to dismiss this case based upon facial unconstitutionality of the statute. Unconstitutionality of the statute as applied, Your Honor. The statute failure of the information to adequately state a cause of action against the defendant. But the motion should also be granted on the issue of, on the matter of issue preclusion because it's already been heard. And since we're dealing with a procedural matter, this is an alleged violation of 4203, which is the harassment statute. It involves a text. The texts are in Spanish. The state has not complied with one aspect of the rules of evidence insofar as being able to present evidence of the text, because I can show the court that the text which is the offending text are subject to the Code of Criminal Procedure 3844, the Texas Rules of Evidence, section 1009, the Code of Criminal Procedure 3830. And if you were to just to turn it on to Google Translate, you'll get multiple answers as to whether or not this is as to the translation. So before you even look at the facial unconstitutionality or unconstitutionality as applied, you need to address the issue of, or subject to my complaint, and Mr. Hernandez did not waive any of the requirements that the foreign language be properly put before the court, which it isn't right now. Insofar as the statement that there's no motion to dismiss, dismiss and quash are the same words. I could have called it a motion to quash. You don't fail in a criminal context, so you label it, dismiss it. I'm seeking the dismissal of the information. And I have I'd like to go ahead and proceed on the merits, and you can decide on your own, since that's your prerogative, as to whether or not I have standing, but I could just relabel this and call it a motion to quash.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you. The first thing I want to bring to the court's attention is the statute. The statute involved is the harassment statute. In this case, the statute says that it has to be repeated electronic communication. They don't allege repeated. There's one text in the context of a divorce. There's no repeated communication. The Wilson case, which I can give you if you can, I'll cite it to you.
Hang on, Judge. Is he asking that we're not alleging that in the information, which would be relevant to a motion to quash, or is he saying that the evidence does not support that? Because those are two distinctions.
Okay,
I have the evidence before the court.
okay, but what, are you alleging that it's not in the information?
Yes,
That-
there's nothing in the information except one text, and in response to discovery.
Well, that's a factual matter, but I'm looking at the information right now. And I'll just read it. It says, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, comes now the undersigned Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, on behalf of the state of Texas, and present in and to the county court at law of Jefferson County, Texas, that in Jefferson County, Texas, Alejandro Hernandez, hereafter styled the defendant, heretofore on or about October 12th of 2023, did then and there, with intent to harass, annoy, alarm, abuse, torment, or embarrass Miriam Sanchez, hereafter styled the complainant, make repeated telephone communications to Miriam Sanchez in a manner reasonably likely to harass, annoy, alarm, and embarrass the said Miriam Sanchez, to wit, by threatening to share intimate photos on social media against the peace and dignity of the state, and is signed by the Assistant Criminal District Attorney.
There's one text.
Well,
They took his phone. They, under discovery of this court, they're supposed to give me the information. They've sent me one text.
Your Honor, that's incorrect. With regards to discovery, the state has handed over at least 38 documents alleged within the discovery for him.
It's
To
one
go through.
text. And well, that's one of the points. Another point, Your Honor, is there's a matter such as called issue preclusion. This matter
Judge,
has
that's not
been,
relevant to a motion to quash. If that's what we're here on, then that's not relevant to a motion to quash. In fact, that's not even relevant until you get to the appellate level. He has to actually be adjudicated on this for that to even apply.
Well, I'm sorry, that's not it. That's another incorrect statement of the
It is
law.
absolutely.
I
not.
can raise collateral estoppel before this court. I can do it by a pretrial writ of habeas corpus. If I need to, I'll file, but I can also raise it on a motion to dismiss. The element of the offense, first, the elements have to be set out in the information. You don't just allege something. And in this case, attached to this is the divorce proceeding. The divorce proceeding, the complaining witness went before the court, made the same accusations down the hall. She lost. The divorce judgment is included. The protective order was denied after this event took place. So she's heard this case at a lesser standard of proof. There is no way to go forward on this standard of proof when she's lost at the domestic relations court. And the case is still pending in the domestic relations court on other issues. So what she's trying to do here, she makes an accusation that's totally taken out of context. I, by this motion, is providing the court with a context of what's going on. There's one text, one set of pictures that were sent. They were never published. They were only sent to her. There's no allegation that a threat was made to her. There's no allegation that any physical harm was ever threatened. This is a harassment case only. And the state has to overcome the collateral estoppel issue before you can ever go forward. It's not, I'm not pleading jeopardy, but it's the same concept. When you've had the identical issue heard by another court and you lose, which is before you in the divorce decree and her request for protective order, he won. He's got custody. She, not only after that hearing, it's in the court record, which I gave you, she had to be evicted from the house. All of this occurrence is in response to conduct on the complaining witness's part, who continues to lose in another court and change lawyer repeatedly. She's had 5 different people appear with her in court. And she's got another hearing set in about a week. And I guess I could turn around and file a writ of habeas corpus, but a motion to dismiss this case is the most judicially efficient way of handling it.
Except that motion doesn't exist.
Well, I'm sorry. I've been practicing law a long time. I've been before many courts. I called it a motion to dismiss, and if you want to go technical, I'll abate this and call it a motion to quash the information.
Judge, if it were truly a motion to quash, we would have an opportunity to refile under the Code of Criminal Procedure. And he cannot point to a single thing in that information that is defective that we would then have the opportunity to correct. There is nothing in the information that is defective. He is talking about evidence, and that's an issue for trial.
Not if the evidence is unequivocal. There is no controverting evidence as to the divorce, as to the fact that all this has been put before another court. You can't change that. It's a fact that exists. And the court is entitled to take judicial notice of other rulings in this courthouse.
Not to mention the fact that he's attached evidence to this motion, which is a huge red flag in criminal court, because you have to have evidence to support your motion. Then it's a very clear indicator that there is not a legal basis to actually grant that motion.
He's 100% wrong. Again, if I filed a writ of habeas corpus, I would attach the same things to it. I'm just going first with this. I'm glad that this man's here today because he seems to know the law that I've never practiced before. The Code of Criminal Procedure allows me to quash the information if it is defective. It is defective because I've said the statute is facially unconstitutional. It's unconstitutional as applied. And then there's a matter of issue preclusion. You have to plead issue preclusion, which is a kind of an offshoot of prior jeopardy. You can't ignore it. But since we're down in misdemeanor court, these people seem to think that all of this stuff is, we don't file this kind of stuff. People walk into this court, Your Honor. This is their first brush with the law. To criminalize conduct on this man who's in a divorce of a marriage of 24 years based upon, let's just take her word in Spanish and ignore what's going on down the hall in the divorce court, let's assume you rule, I tried the case to you and he was found guilty. So he would be found guilty of harassment here while the same evidence was heard by a district judge and he was found not guilty at a lesser burden of proof. That doesn't make any sense. That's why I filed the motion. I brought it to the attention. I've written them letters. Everything I'm saying has been told to the district attorney's office in an effort to preclude this matter from stumbling forward. There's nothing in this case that ever occurred except on one occasion. There is one text on one date that is shown to be harassing. That was given to me by the police officer and by the district attorney's office. If they can show, it has a bunch of pictures in it, but they were never published, and they don't allege they were published.
Judge, what happens in family court has no bearing on your court because for good reason, because we put our trust in you to apply the rules correctly in this case, in this court.
It's the same issue.
It is not.
That's an absurd statement. If somebody went into family court and one of them alleged she was beat up and they had a contempt hearing and it was lost, you cannot come down here at a lower standard, at a higher standard of proof if there's been an issue, the exact issue decided. That is 100. He's telling you exactly wrong.
That's
you
evidence.
I can show you case after case on that.
There is no such case. That's evidence for cross-examination, if it's relevant or admissible at all.
The matters before us, Judge, are issues for trial.
100%. Do you need to hear any more, Judge?
Y'all have anything else?
Well, Your Honor, what I'm trying to get across, all these issues which I'm bringing for you in this motion will be brought to you if I set the case for trial before we start. You see? They haven't responded. They never respond to anything. They could write, everything this man is saying could be in writing, but they don't respond. This, for an orderly judicial procedure to take place, somebody needs to write a response. I can just label this a pretrial writ of habeas corpus. File it. You can make your decision on it. I can appeal it. This whole thing goes down a different railroad track. I chose to try to bring it to their attention. One, see if they want to clean up the information and produce it before the court in a manner that you or a jury could understand the text, because it's just a bunch of pictures with Spanish writing under it that I don't know how they know what it says. They don't have an interpreter. They never have given me, they have an obligation to give me the names of an expert. An interpreter is an expert. How do you know what's in those texts when you don't have an interpreter?
Has he tried asking his client?
That's not the issue. The issue is what the evidence is. the evidence has to be before the judge. The judge said, if you can read Spanish, I guess you could have take judicial notice of a foreign language, but it would be the first time in this courthouse somebody did. Judge Flores, who sat here, understood Spanish, but when something in Spanish came before him, he required an interpreter, and he was fluent because he followed the rules. So I don't have the name of an expert witness, and I don't have any text other than one day, and I filed a motion to dismiss. I'm bringing it to the court's attention as on a vehicle like this. This gentleman thinks that all of this should be labeled differently. Well, it's not a matter in criminal law. It's not what it's labeled. It's what it says. I could call this a motion to ask more questions. But if it raises constitutional issues, which jeopardy is, which constitutionality is, it merits consideration by the court. But however you want to proceed, I will.
Okay. Well, at this time, if there's no further arguments before the court is going to take this matter under advisement.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
And I'll add this, if the court desires to have me relabel this, the district attorney's office could just drop me a note and I'll relabel everything. If
Well,
they
I can't tell you what this is.
Well, I mean, they seem to think the label is very important as opposed to substance of what's in the
Okay,
matter.
so we're gonna reset this. Just reset it just keep it on the announcement docket. We'll put it on a,
Well, I'm gonna have to give you. I didn't see it.
yeah. Okay. We'll send you the next court date.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
very
you're
much,
free to
sir.
go and you have a blessed day.
Okay.
You have a blessed day.
Thank you.
You
sir.
too.
Thank you
Right,
for the
y'all have a
time
blessed
today.
All right.
That's all I'm here for, Judge.
Okay, we'll see you later, son. Catherine Messman. You're represented by Attorney Ralph Kimler. He is currently in trial, so he will not be here today.
Okay,
So we're gonna have to reset this case.
it was just to get to.
Yes, reset the hearing, I know.
Yeah, but it's gonna be out by the time we reset it, so
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to get it out like a month early,
Oh. Okay,
because my probation's up in April.
okay. All right. So you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir.
Who's the prosecutor?
I don't know.
Okay. Listen, okay. It's Shedrick Otto Lisby.
Shadrach, listen, yes, sir.
Okay, how you doing, Mr. Lisby?
I'm doing amazing today. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for access.
Pleasure to hear.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Lisenby, you're represented by your attorney, Attorney Willard Hall. Attorney Hall, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. And the state is represented in this case by Attorney Shane Hilton. Attorney Hilton, how are you doing?
I'm good, Your Honor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Now, Mr. Hall, what is your announcement in Mr. Lisenby's case?
Discovery is rolling along. We've gotten everything. I've talked to Mr. Lisby about it. He would like me to talk to the prosecutor, and I'm gonna call up there and make an appointment. So if you could reset it for 60 days.
Okay, give me a reset, because this case only been on file 85. What day of the week is best for you?
Probably Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Isn't that best for you?
Whatever day works for the court.
Okay. Yes, because this case is only 85 days old.
March 9.
Okay, this case will be reset to March
No,
9th,
April.
excuse me,
April.
April
Yes.
9th of 2025. Once you get your reset, Mr. Elizabeth, you're free to go and you have a blessed day.
You as well, sir.
Stand in front of the court coordinator. And Mr. Hall, this is your only case. You're free to go and you have a blessed day as
Thank
well.
you. I'll call you.
Do we have anybody else? Joel Espinoza. Okay. Espinoza,
There should be two cases, Your Honor.
okay.
It was so foggy driving here. Truly foggy.
Espinoza. Okay. So we have, which one was this? 52. 52. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is in session in two cases. Cases are cause numbers M329640 and cause number M329052. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Joel Espinoza. Mr. Espinoza speaks Spanish. And we have Attorney Justice Ajayi's translator. Ma'am, would you please state your full name?
Patricia Garza.
Patricia Garza. Ms. Garza, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Garza, do you swear or affirm to translate Spanish to English and English to Spanish to help you God? Okay, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Ms. Garza? That's good. Ms. Garza, ask Mr. Espinoza if his full name is Joel Espinoza.
¿Su nombre correcto es Juan Espinosa?
Yes.
Okay. Ask Mr. Espinoza to raise his right hand. Yeah. Mr. Espinoza, do you swear or affirm
¿Juras
to tell the truth,
decir la verdad?
the whole truth,
La verdad.
and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
En nombre de Dios.
Yes.
Okay, you may tell him to put his hand down. Mr. Espinoza is represented in his cases by Attorney Justice Ajayi. Attorney Ajayi, how are you doing?
Fine, sir. Fine.
And Mr. Ajayi, do you waive a record in Mr. Espinoza's cases?
Yes, sir. Yes, we do.
Mr. Espinoza, in cause number 329640,
En el caso 3290. M3290.
I have before me a document that is titled Information.
Tengo un documento que dice información.
This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office.
Esta información fue sometida por el distrito de.
In this information, it alleges that you, Joel Espinoza,
En esta información dice que tú Juan Espinosa,
on or about March 20th of 2021,
en marzo 2021,
that you committed to Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespassing.
como que fue por traspasar.
Do you understand what you have been charged with?
¿Sí entiende de lo que te están hablando?
And to this charge, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No, no culpable. No, no contested.
No contest?
Yes, sir.
Well, he is the box guilty is checked over here. Yeah, he must be pleading culpable.
¿Eres culpable de lo que hiciste? Sí, lo hiciste, ¿verdad? Guilty. Guilty.
Okay. Now, is he pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Estás en decisión de ser culpable por tu propio. Yes.
And or is he pleading guilty because he is guilty?
Estás diciendo que eres culpable porque eres culpable de hacer eso. Yes.
Okay. I have before me another document.
Mantenía otro documento.
This document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments.
Es otro que tiene un terrorismo.
In this document,
En ese documento.
do you recognize this document?
¿Reconoces este documento? Es el que estamos viendo ahora. Yes.
The last paragraph on page 1 in this document is titled Citizenship.
Dice aquí ciudadano en el último párrafo de este documento.
And it states as follows.
Y dice,
If you are not a U.S. citizen
si no eres un ciudadano,
on a plea of guilty or no contest,
si dices que eres culpable o no contestable,
it may result in your deportation,
te pueden deportar,
exclusion from admission to the country,
no puedes regresar a los Estados Unidos,
or denial of naturalization under federal law.
o te pueden denegar el ser ciudadano americano.
Do you understand?
¿Sí entiendes eso? Yes.
And do you still want to go forward with your plea?
¿Todavía quieres seguir con tu caso de firmar hoy de culpables? ¿Eh? No quiere ser culpable. He doesn't want to proceed as guilty. You say he's not guilty with that.
So you said he's not guilty?
Yes, sir. ¿Está diciendo que no eres culpable? Dice, no, he's not guilty.
Okay, so you say he's not guilty of the criminal trespass.
No es
That's right.
culpable de traspasar tampoco. He said trespassing, yes, the terrorism, no.
Okay, well, we on trespassing.
Estamos en el de traspasar, pero como quiera que afecta en las mismas cosas. Si quieres arreglar tus documentos, no te van a dejar entrar a los Estados Unidos, te pueden dar deportación. En cualquiera de todos los casos. ¿Sí lo entiendes?
Sí.
¿O quieres proceder con el caso o no? Te puede afectar que te pueden poner deportación. ¿Quieres proceder o no quieres proceder? Afirmar. Lo que te estoy diciendo, que si firmas hoy, puedes firmar, pero te pueden deportar. Tienes una chance que te deporten, que no te dejen entrar otra vez al estado de Estados Unidos.
Ok, pero pues, caso ahorita tenemos
No está hablando de terrorismo, está hablando de traspasar.
Okay.
Okay, he said, okay, he said, that's fine. I'm explaining.
What's fine?
He said that he's gonna do he's guilty.
He's pleading guilty?
Yes.
Okay. Now, but my question was, did he understand the paragraph?
The citizen,
The
that's what I was
citizenship.
I just explained that to him, that he's not gonna, has a chance to get deported, or he's not gonna be able to come back into the United States due to that.
I mean, yeah, it basically says that if you are not a U.S. citizen on a plea of guilty or another contender, it may result in your deportation,
Yeah.
exclusion from admission, or denial of naturalization under federal law.
¿Sí entiendes lo que te dije, verdad? Yeah, he understands.
Okay. Now, he needs to place his initials below that paragraph?
You can read the paragraph.
Yes,
Aquí confidencial debajo.
put his initials there stating he understands. Okay. Now, on page 2 of this same document,
En la página 2 del mismo caso, del mismo documento que estamos hablando ahorita.
there are a set of initials on the line that's next to a box that says guilty. Are these your initials?
¿Estos son tus iniciales donde eres culpable? Yes.
On page 3 of this same document,
En la página 3 del mismo
there's a
documento
signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
hay una firma que dice que tú eres el que estamos defendiendo. ¿Esta es tu firma?
On the next document, he didn't check the box. You gotta these boxes up here. You check one or two of the boxes, the top boxes. That the first box is saying that it's a plea bargain case, he has no right of appeal. Or
Oh, you check.
he's waiving his right to appeal. And
¿De qué están? Desde arriba. Más o menos.
they put two
We have
numbers
both
on the
cause
same.
numbers, Your Honor, but there
Okay.
is two separate discovery certs.
Oh, so how are we gonna keep them separated?
They might need to have a copy, but
Yeah.
this is for cause.
Okay. Okay. Did. Okay, this next document is titled Trial Court Certification, a Defendant's Right of Appeal.
Este documento de certificación de lo que está viendo acerca del culpable. ¿Entiendes lo que es este documento?
Do you recognize this document?
¿Conoces este documento?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. At the bottom of this document, there's a signature on the line that's titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Este documento está una firma que dice que tú eres el defensor. ¿Esa es tu firma? Sí.
At the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
En esta caja que tú checaste es que hoy vamos a afirmar que tú eres culpable y no puedes apelar nada. ¿Estás de acuerdo? Yes.
I also have another document
También tengo otro
that is
documento.
titled Discovery Certification.
Otro que es certificación de...
Do you recognize this document?
¿Sí reconoces este documento que firmaste hoy? Este documento donde está diciendo que vamos a hacer hoy la gestión del caso.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
¿Esta es tu firma? ¿Dónde dice?
Okay. Is Mr. Espinoza a citizen of the United States?
¿Eres un ciudadano de los Estados Unidos?
No.
He's a resident, sir.
Okay, what country is he from?
¿De dónde? ¿De Cuba.
I'm gonna give him a document. This document is titled for all foreign nationals
Mhm.
except those from mandatory notification countries. Cuba is not a mandatory notification country. Now, you can go over this document with him. He can circle yes or no to the question, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And then he would print his name, sign it, and then you will witness it, okay? So y'all can have a seat. We'll give you time to go over that document.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Okay. Okay. Court is back in session. And I have before me a document it's titled English Statement Number 1
Dice el estado de inglés número uno.
for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries.
Excepto por esos países que no tienen notificaciones.
Okay. Now, Mr. Espinoza, do you recognize this document?
Señor Espinosa, ¿reconoce este documento?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled signature?
¿Esta es su firma? ¿Dice firma?
Yes.
And you circle the word no below the sentence that states, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time.
Y usted puso que no quiere que le diga nada a gobernador. Yes, he was, yes, he doesn't want to.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Espinoza, before you sign and initial all these documents,
Antes de que haya firmado todos esos documentos,
did Miss Patricia Garza go over these documents with you in Spanish?
Patricia Garza fue sobre todos estos documentos en español con usted. Que sí, yes.
And did you understand everything that she went over?
Y entendió todo lo que yo le expliqué.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Y todos estos documentos están firmados a lo que usted entiende.
Okay.
State
Miss-
offer states one at this time, Your Honor.
No objection, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Ajay,
Yes, sir.
you advised and counsel Mr. Espinoza.
Yes, sir. I did.
Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Okay, Mr. Espinoza, are you satisfied with the services of Attorney Ajay?
¿Está satisfecho con el servicio de su abogado?
Okay. Mr. Espinoza, I will accept your plea of guilty.
Voy a aceptar donde usted se está dando de culpable.
I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial.
Y entiendo que está mentalmente compatible para cualquier problema.
I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given.
Y también constantemente por hacer.
And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Y también que evidencias lo hacen
State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 1 year deferred probation, $500 fine, 45 hours community service, plus court costs, and this is to run concurrent with the companion case.
Hermano probation, $500 de fines, tiene que ser 45 años, 45 horas de
You didn't put it on here. What you mean?
Because he has 2 cases. In 29640, the probation fee is $1.
Okay. Okay, well, he said he may not be pleading to that other case. Okay, so, okay, so you would have to do, okay, I'm gonna just, let me see, 45. You said community service?
45, Your Honor.
And let me see, what's the fine?
$500, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, this is, we gotta see if it's gonna run CC. M3, 2, they plead to that one. Okay. This is, let's see. What is this court cost?
367.
367. I would have to put it on this one. I would have to,
That would change.
yeah, okay. 7.
Yes. sir.
No, well, I did this one because I was gonna read the warning on that one second. Okay, this is, okay.
Sí, yo tengo dos. It was, I think it was that panic whenever they.
Okay. Mr. Espinoza, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period,
En ese año de probation,
you'll be required to pay a fine of $500
querido, a $500,
plus court costs of $367.
más el costo de corte, que son $367.
You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 a month,
Que pagas tu probation $60 por mes,
a year analysis fee of $15 a month,
15,
15,
y los análisis de los exámenes $15 mensuales. Para cuando te hacen el examen de droga.
and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15.
Y tienes que pagar un fee también de $15 para reembolsar. ¿Ok?
Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount you'll be required to pay each month, is $162 a month.
El total que tienes que pagar mensualmente son $162 por mes. ¿Vale?
Will you be able to pay the $162 each month?
¿Puedes pagar ese total o necesitas otro?
Sí.
You will also be required to perform 48 hours of, 45 hours of community service.
También estás requerido de hacer 45 horas de servicios a la comunidad.
And it said this case, if you please to, will run concurrent with the next case.
Y si haces como vale esto, todo esto se va a hacer con el otro caso, que no se los dos casos juntos, ¿sí entiendes?
Now, Mr. Espinoza,
No, no, no.
do you understand the state's offer?
¿Entiendes lo que el Estado te está ofreciendo?
Do you think the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
¿Crees que el Estado está dándote algo justo?
Yes.
Do you accept the state's offer?
¿Aceptas la oferta del Estado?
Yes.
Okay, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you entered into with the state.
Vamos a hacer vamos a ir al acuerdo que hicimos con el Estado, ¿ok?
Now, Mr. Espinoza, if you complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed.
Si completas todo tu probation, te van a quitar este caso, ¿ok?
And it will not result in a conviction on your record.
Y no va a tu récord.
And you may qualify for a non-disclosure.
Y puede estar calificado para que
You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters.
puedes hablar con tu abogado para que te quite tu récord, porque va como récord.
Okay. Now, that will conclude this case. Oops. Okay, now his next case is cause number M329052.
Tu otro caso es el M329052. Ok.
Now, this case is, hold on, this case, well, I have before me a document that is titled Information.
Tengo un documento aquí que dice información.
This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office.
Esta información estuvo sometida por el Estado.
in this information, it alleges that you, Joel Espinoza, committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of terroristic threat, family violence.
Aquí dice que tú cometiste un crimen de terrorismo, de terrorización. Mira que es el crimen abajo contra tu familia.
Do you understand what you've been charged with?
¿Entiendes de lo que te están culpando? ¿Entiendes?
To this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest.
¿Cómo debes de ser culpable o no culpable? ¿Eh? He said he's not guilty, huh?
Okay, so we're gonna set this case for trial.
Entonces te van a tener que dar a los tribunales.
Okay.
Por ese caso.
Um,
¿Tú lo hiciste? He said he wants to get over this case and
state, there was a bond forfeiture in this case. Are you withdrawing that bond forfeiture?
Yes, Your Honor, state's recalling the bond forfeiture.
Did y'all hear that?
They're gonna recall it on.
Okay.
They're recalling a bond forfeiture on Hector Luis Torres Dominguez. Okay. Now, Mr. Dominguez speaks Spanish, is that correct?
Yes.
He probably speaks some English too. And,
a little bit.
okay. Was that poquito?
Poquito. Yeah, a little bit.
And, now, Ms. Garza, Patricia Garza, has already been sworn in. and she will translate.
Yo te voy a traducir por cualquier cosa que te tenga que decir.
Ms. Garza, ask, Mr. Dominguez if his full name is Hector Luis Torres Dominguez. And ask Mr. Dominguez to raise his right hand. Okay. Do you swear or affirm
Fuera,
to tell the truth, the whole truth,
toda la verdad,
and nothing but the truth?
no,
So help you God. Good action to put his hand down. Okay. Mr. Dominguez, how are you doing? Doing good? That's good. Now, Mr. Dominguez. Okay, I have before me, well, Mr. Ajay, do you waive a record in Mr. Dominguez's case?
Yes, we do here.
And Mr. Dominguez, I have before me a document. I have a document that is titled Information. And in this information,
en esta información,
it alleges that, well, it alleges that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated second.
mientras estabas intoxicado. ¿Entiendes?
State, are you abandoning the enhancement paragraph? The state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph. And what that basically means is Mr. Dominguez will be charged with a lower or lesser included offense, Class B, driving while intoxicated. Now, to the Class B misdemeanor offense
La
Oh.
ofensa de clase B,
of driving while intoxicated,
de manejar mientras estabas intoxicado,
which alleges that you, Hector Luis Torres Dominguez,
dice que tú, Héctor Luis Torres Domínguez,
on or about May 15 of 2022,
en 15 de mayo de 2022,
while you are operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas,
en Jefferson County, Texas,
how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
culpable o no culpable, guilty.
Pleading guilty? Okay. They, this box wasn't checked,
I'll write it in for them.
where it says guilty, yeah, it wasn't checked. And then
How was he pleading?
guilty. And then on the, misdemeanor plea admonishment, go to page 2, I think he had
He said-
initials on two lines. And the box that was checked was no contendere. So he needs to erase the no contendere and that box that's checked.
It's been
You got it?
copied.
Okay. Okay. Now, ask him if he's pleading guilty freely and voluntarily.
Estás diciendo que eres culpable por tu propia cuenta.
And ask him if he's pleading guilty because he is guilty.
Estás diciendo que eres culpable, que sí eres culpable.
Okay. I also have a document before me that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment. Ask him if he recognized this document. And on page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials,
En la página de 2 del mismo documento están tus iniciales.
and they are on a line next to a box that's checked guilty.
Están en una caja que eres culpable.
Did you place your initials on this document?
Pusiste ahí esos iniciales.
On the next document,
En el otro
well,
documento,
on the same document,
perdón, en el mismo documento,
on the next page,
en la segunda página,
there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Ask him if this is his signature.
¿está su firma?
On the next document,
En el otro.
oh, these boxes are not checked. You're gonna have to check that one at the top. That's the box that states that this is a plea bargain case. He has no right of
No
appeal.
right to appeal. En esta casa va a decir que es culpable que no puedes apelar, ¿ok?
Now, Mr. Dominguez, do you recognize this document?
¿Reconoces este documento?
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
¿Esa es tu firma?
At the top of this document, there's one box checked.
Arriba de este documento hay una caja que checamos.
The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal.
En esta caja quiere decir que tú eres culpable y no tienes derecho a apelar. ¿Estás de acuerdo?
Do you understand the statement?
¿Entiendes?
I also have a document on paper
También tengo un documento en papel,
that's titled Discovery Certification.
que es la certificación de
Do you recognize this document?
reconoces este papel.
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Firma.
Now, Mr. Dominguez, before you signed all of these documents,
Antes de que hayas firmado todos estos documentos,
did Ms. Garza go over these documents with you in Spanish?
la señora Garza te explicó todo lo que dice estos documentos.
And did you understand everything that she went over?
¿Y entendiste todo lo que quiere decir estos documentos?
Is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Están estos documentos, ¿es cierto? A lo mejor que tú estés de acuerdo.
And he's I guess, a citizen of, is Puerto Rico?
State offer states one at this time, Your Honor.
Any objections? No objections. States exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Ajay, you've advised the counsel, Mr. Dominguez.
Yes, sir.
Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
He's competent, Judge.
And Mr. Dominguez,
Mm,
you have been advised and counseled by your attorney, Mr. Ajay.
Has estado dando sus consejos del abogado.
Are you satisfied with his services?
¿Estás satisfecho con los servicios?
Mr. Dominguez, I will accept your plea of guilty.
Los domingos aceptamos hoy de que eres culpable.
I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
No tenemos suficiente evidencia cierta.
State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 180 days probated over 1 year, $500 fine, 50 hours community service, interlock and DWI standard first conditions of probation.
This is 10. That's 100. What is this go for?
49
Okay, Mr. Dominguez. The state is offering that you serve 180 days in jail, but you will not serve any time in jail.
El Estado quería que hiciera 180 días en la cárcel, pero no vas a hacer ni un día en la cárcel, ¿ok?
Because you'll be placed on probation for 1 year. During the 1 year probationary period,
El año de probation,
you'll be required to pay a fine of $500,
tienes que pagar $500.
court costs of $392,
Y la corte va a ser $392.
DWI conviction fine of $100,
La convicción de tomar intoxicado, $100.
a probation fee of $60 a month,
$50 mensuales.
reimbursement, urinalysis fee of $15 a month,
$15.
a reimbursement fee of $15.
Que reembolsar $15.
You will also be required to pay
También vas a ser requerido de que pagues
a DWI conviction, a DWI education fee of $125,
va a tener que pagar un 125 de una clase de intoxicación. Es un fin de intoxicación.
okay, on the day of the plea.
El día que te pongas culpable,
If a further evaluation would be needed,
si una evaluación tiene que ser requerida,
you'll be required to pay an additional $25. No, additional $50.
tienes que te requieren a pagar $50.
Now, your total monthly installments,
El total que tienes que pagar mensualmente,
that is the total amount you'll be required to pay each month,
que tienes que pagar cada mes,
is $173.
123. ¿Puedes pagar eso? It's a reduction.
Would you be able to pay the $173 a month?
Puedes pagar eso. 10 años.
You will also be required to perform 50 hours of community service,
También tienes que tener 50 horas de servicios a la comunidad.
install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate,
En cualquier vehículo que tengas, vas a tener que tener el aparato para checar, para que soples. ¿Ok?
attend and complete a DW education class,
Tienes que hacer una clase de manejo de intoxicado,
have an alcohol assessment,
una clase de alcohol
and adhere to the other standard terms of DWI probation.
y llegar a los estándares de probation de estar manejando mientras estás intoxicado.
Do you understand the state's offer?
¿Entiendes lo que te está ofreciendo el Estado?
Do you think that is fair and just?
¿Tú crees que está?
And do you accept it?
¿Lo aceptas?
Okay. I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you entered into with the state. Please stand next. Just have a seat and wait for your name to be called. Okay, and we'll give you time to y'all talk to Mr. Espinoza.
Yes, sir.
Court is back in session in cause number M 329-052. Case is style of State of Texas versus Joel Espinoza.
Está la corte en sesión otra vez, el Estado contra Pablo Espinosa.
And Mr. Espinoza speaks Spanish, and Miss Patricia Garza will translate.
Yo lo voy a estar traduciendo por cualquier cosa.
And Mr. Espinoza is represented in this case by Attorney Justice Ajay. Attorney Ajay, do you waive a record?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay. Mr. Espinoza, I have before me a document that is titled Information.
Enfrente de mí tengo un documento que dice información.
And this information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office.
Y ese documento estaba en la oficina por el estado de Jefferson County con el fiscal.
In this information, it alleges that you, Joel Espinoza, committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of terroristic threat, family violence.
En ese documento dice que tú me hiciste un antiterrorismo con violencia familiar.
Do you understand what you have been charged with?
¿Entiendes lo que están?
And to this charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
En este, ¿cómo vas a ser culpable, no culpable y no contestes? Contestes.
No contest?
Yeah, no contest.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
¿Estás haciéndolo por tu decisión propia?
Send his case back to me, 52.
Yes.
And are you pleading no? Okay, you pleading freely and voluntarily. And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Estoy haciendo porque tú estás decidiendo decir eso, porque no quieres pelear o tener buscar. Porque él está, I mean, I'm sorry. He's deciding to he run out of contest himself.
No contest,
Yes.
okay. Okay. I also have before me a document
Tengo ante mí un documento
on the tablet.
en la tableta.
And this document is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
¿Reconoces este documento? Yes.
And on page 2 of the same document, oh, he got two sets of initials. He
You're gonna have
yeah,
to
he gonna have to
erase it.
erase that one, put it, the check here and erase that one at the top. He got it on the guilty and the no contest line. Is that him? Yeah, okay, that's J.E. Yes, Haley, so
Yes, Your Honor.
they're gonna have to change the, what they had on the SIP page. Where it's guilty, they have to change that to no contest.
Says guilty.
Okay. Now, on page 2, the set of initials on the line next to a box is checked no contendere, which means no contest, so these are initials. On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is this your signature?
En la página 3.
And on the next document, oh, they're gonna have to check that one box again. The one that says that this is plea bargain case.
Oh,
Just the first.
Okay. Okay, now this is a plea bargain. Now, do you recognize this document, this trial court certification?
¿Reconoces este documento?
Is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
There's one box that's checked at the top of this document,
Yes.
Acá.
and this box, well, it states that this is a plea bargain case, and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Aquí dice que no puedes apelar esta decisión que hicimos hoy, ¿ok?
Great.
Oh. Give me his,
Judgment of discovery.
on his, yeah. Now, this is gonna be this is the second part of that discovery. She just got two numbers on it. Let me do this, yeah, I do it like that, so I don't get it mixed up. Now, Mr. Espinoza,
Señora Espinosa,
this document is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature?
¿esta es tu firma?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and I need to have Mr. Espinoza to initial that first document under citizenship. I'll just read it to him again. This document, the last paragraph states that if you're not a US citizen,
El último párrafo es básicamente igual que antes, que si tú no eres un ciudadano americano,
okay, it may result in your deportation,
puede ser que te deporten,
exclusion from admission,
que te van a excluir de Estados Unidos
and denial of naturalization under federal
y
law.
negar.
Okay, do you understand that?
¿Entiendes?
Okay,
Tienes que firmar abajo de esta parte.
could you, have an initial at the bottom?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. Now. Did y'all put both numbers on that, the document?
Regarding discovery,
No, not the discovery, the other document, the one about the foreign. Both numbers on there? Let me see it. Oh, yeah, it's attached to here. Now, Mr. Espinoza, you recognize this document?
yes.
And is this your signature on the line? It's titled
¿Esta es su firma?
signature?
Sí.
And you circle no to the statement that says, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? Is that correct?
Que no quiere que le notifiquen.
Now, Mr. Espinoza,
Señora Espinosa,
before you sign and initial all of these documents,
antes de que haya firmado y iniciado todos estos documentos,
this Ms. Garza go over these documents with you in Spanish.
señora Garza, puede sobre todos estos documentos en español.
Did you understand everything that Ms. Garza went over?
¿Entendiste todo lo que la señora Garza te explicó?
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Y todos estos documentos es cierto y la verdad.
Yes.
Okay,
State officer states one at this time, Your Honor.
any objections? No objections, states exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Espinoza, are you satisfied with your attorney?
Señor Espinosa, ¿está satisfecho con los servicios de su abogado?
Okay, and Mr. Justice Ajay, you've advised and counseled Mr. Espinoza. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
He's mentally competent.
And did you advise him of the consequences of him pleading guilty of no contest by virtue of him not being a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir, I did.
Pursuant to Padilla versus Kentucky.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Espinoza, I will accept your plea of no contest, I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial, and I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State. Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state's offering 1 year deferred probation, $500 fine, 45 hours community service. Defendant is to have no contact with Urosbel Sanchez, and this will run concurrent with the companion case.
Hmm? Yeah, her name is,
Let's say Gonzalez.
Urosbel Sanchez Gonzalez. Yes, it's on the information. Yeah, just, that's a,
So the middle name is, I mean.
let me, yeah, no contact with, and it says, you know how to spell Urosbel? Yeah, and then, middle name, well, it's Sanchez Gonzalez. Okay, now Sanchez has the Z on the end.
Okay, and then Gonzalez, yes.
That's right. Okay, that's community service ops. No contact. There's a 100 crime. No, this is a,
Assault.
oh, this is not assault, okay. This is 500, what's the court cost?
417.
417. Now I'm gonna put the fees here, well, we'll tell them that they're not gonna charge it to him when he gets to, yeah, but you didn't put the probation fee in this one? Huh?
Change it to 0.
Okay, because the case is running concurrent.
Oh, you want me to add it?
I mean, but the cases are running concurrent. We usually, you put it in and we tell them that they won't have to pay it because,
No, it is. It is 2 cases. We put 0.
Okay. Okay,
6110 on that.
okay, now that's for the probation fee and the year analysis fee? Okay. Okay, so that's. Okay, let's see. 85. Okay. Mr. Espinoza, the state is offering that you serve
El Estado está
1 year deferred adjudicated probation
haciendo una probation.
and during the 1 year probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $500.
Tienes que pagar $500.
You will also be required to pay a court cost of $417
El costo de la corte de $417
and a reimbursement fee of $15.
y el reembolso de $15.
Your total monthly installments will be $85 a month.
El total por mes serían $85 al mes.
Will you be able to pay the $85 each month?
Puedes pagar $85.
You will also be required to perform 45 hours of community service.
También tienes que hacer 45 horas de comunidades.
You cannot have any contact with Bell, Sanchez, Gonzalez,
No puedes tener contacto con Yuri González.
and you would adhere to the other standard terms and condition of this probation.
Y también estás, tienes que aceptar los términos de esta probation.
In this case, will run concurrent, which means at the same time with the other probation case.
Este caso va a estar junto con el otro caso que tiene de probation.
Do you understand the state's offer?
¿Entiendes la oferta que hizo el Estado?
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
¿Crees que la oferta es justa?
And do you accept the state's offer?
Y aceptas la oferta del Estado?
Okay. I'll follow the plea bargaining agreement that you have entered into with the state.
Va a entrar en
This will conclude your case.
concluye tu caso.
I need to give you, I need to go over a document with you. Could you hand that to her? You could hand that to her because she can, whatever I say in English, she could say it in Spanish. Okay, it states that model written ammunition on ineligibility to possess firearm or ammunition. That's the title.
Si tienes alguna arma.
In accordance with Texas Administrative Code Section 176.1,
176.1.
the court hereby admonishes you of the following.
Te deja saber lo siguiente.
Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment
Está por la orden del juez.
ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition.
No puedes.
Or beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition,
Si tienes una arma ahorita,
it could lead to charges against you.
te pueden poner cargos contra ti.
If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition,
Si tienes preguntas de cuánto tiempo no puedes tener un arma contigo,
you should consult an attorney.
tienes que consultar a tu abogado.
Now, under the Texas Penal Code, section 46.013,
En el código de Texas 46.01,
firearm mean any device designed, made, or adapted
arma quiere decir cualquier objeto que sea adaptado,
Good.
proyectar,
to expel a projectile through a barrel
puede tener, sacar alguna bala,
by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance,
por usar alguna explosión,
or any device readily, or any device readily convertible to that use.
no cualquier cosa que sea cerca de una arma.
B, firearm does not include
La firearm no incluye
a firearm that may have
alguna que tenga
an integral part
características,
Okay. A folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons
cuchillo que se dobla, cualquier cosa así.
made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46,
Eso no es ilegal. Puedes cargarlo.
and that is an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899,
Eso sí puede ser cualquier, o sea, no quiere decir que es una arma.
or replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899,
O cualquier réplica antes del 1899.
but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition.
Solamente lo puedes cargar si tiene balas o cualquier tipo de pólvora. Ok.
For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition,
Para más información de cualquier cualquier ley que tenga preguntas de que. de los familiares.
or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts,
Para más información, de cuánto tiempo va a durar que no vas a tener un arma.
the court recommends you contact an attorney.
La corte recomienda que veas a un abogado.
For your reference,
Tu referencia,
you may wish to consult the statutes listed below,
puedes consultar los estatus son estos códigos
which may or may not apply to your
que
circumstances.
pueden aplicar o no pueden aplicar a tu caso.
Now, on this document, I'll go to the third bullet point,
Este documento aquí, código criminal,
and it states Code of Criminal Procedure, Article
42.0131.
42.0131. That's the third one.
I mean,
And it said, notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence.
estas notificaciones para personas convictas que envuelve violencia familiar.
Okay, now, Mr. Espinoza,
Señora Espinosa,
you can keep that document for your records.
¿te puedes quedar con este documento?
You're gonna stand next to, this will conclude your case.
Parar aquí, te van a dar un
Stand next to the bailiff. Follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you're free to go and you have a blessed day. Ms. Garza, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day. And Attorney Adjudge, you're free to go as well. And you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the court will be in recess. Okay, Jefferson County Court at law number 2 is back in session. Court is in session at cause number 24 CCCR 2326. Case is style the state of Texas versus Caleb Filial LeBlancis. Mr. Filial LeBlancis, would you please come forward? Mr. Filial LeBlancis, your full name is Caleb Filial LeBlancis. Okay, how are you doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. You're represented in your case by your attorney David Grove. Attorney Grove, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Judge. Again, I apologize for being late.
And the state is represented again by Attorney Andrew Hill. Attorney Hill, how are you doing?
Still doing well, Judge. Thank you.
That's good. Now, Mr. Grove, I have before me a motion to modify standard bond conditions in County Court at Law number 2 that you
Yes, sir.
filed. You like to go forward?
Yes, sir.
You may proceed.
I'm sorry.
You may proceed on
Okay,
your
I
motion.
apologize, Judge. Judge, this is an unusual case in which the defendant and his mother both had been involved with this bond condition which the court placed under him because he was arrested and released on bond. And he was to wear a global positioning monitoring system at his expense with written verification being submitted to the court within 3 days. This was the first time he went to court. I was not present, I don't believe, at that first time. I don't think I'd been appointed till that day. But defendant and his mother tried to obtain a global positioning monitoring system device to comply with the bond condition. And they discovered that it would cost about $375 to have the device installed, an additional $300 per month while the defendant wears the required device. Mr. Filial LeBlancis is 17 years old, 18. Okay, he had a birthday, Judge, I'm sorry. But he's a full-time student and is unemployed mainly because he's a full-time high school student, not because he just has any medical disability or physical disability. As a result of this incident here, he transferred to another high school so that he would not have to sit out any time and miss his classes. So he is scheduled to graduate in May. And under these conditions, since he's already been ruled to be indigent by the court and has appointed myself as his attorney, he cannot afford to pay the expense of obtaining and wearing the required device that this bond condition requires. I mean, he doesn't mind wearing it, Judge, and he'll do whatever the court tells him to, but he can't afford to do it. He lives with his mother, and she is unable to afford to pay the fees involved in this, even though she is employed full-time. And I can provide any evidence about this, but that's basically why we're here, Judge, in this very unusual situation.
Okay, let me see his affidavit. Okay, Mr. Filial LeBlancis, I have before me a document that is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Injuries. I'm handing this document to your attorney. He's going to hand it to you for you to review. Mr. Phil LeBlanc, do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of that same document is that your signature above the line at the top to the right, left-hand corner, excuse me, where it says defendant signature.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is everything in that document still true and correct today?
It's all still the same.
Okay, you can hand that document to the attorney, and hand it to me. Now, State,
Yes, Your Honor.
you have any statements you'd like to make before?
Yes, Your Honor. In response to Mr. Grove's motion, I understand the defendant's financial situation, but that, bearing that in mind, that does not resolve the reasoning for why, this court placed that condition on the defendant in this case, which is the nature of this offense and the priority of community safety in this matter.
Okay. Now, Mr. Phil LeBlanc, the court did, in considering the conditions of bond, the court considered the facts of the case, the safety of the victim and the safety of the community. That's why this condition was imposed upon you. Now, the law provides that in the case where a person or defendant is indigent, that a magistrate may, when we're talking about a judge, may, based on a sliding scale established by local rules, require the defendant to pay a reimbursement fee in an amount that is less than the full amount of the cost. And so I basically have made some contacted the company that handles the GPS system. Okay. And what they want you to, you and your mom to contact them, and they're gonna work something out with y'all to lower the fees. Okay. On the GPS. And in fact, he told me that he wanted y'all to contact him today. And then once he talks to you all, he's going to get back to the court. Okay. And then we'll be able to, he'll inform me about the conversation that he has had with you and your mom.
Yes.
Okay, to lower the fees. He said he'll work with you. Okay. So at this time, the condition is still there. And so you'll be ordered to get with, I think it's the facility is called Johnny's. Is that who y'all talked to?
We had went through everything y'all had on the paper and it was all expensive.
Was it, I talked to, we can give him that paper back, give him another copy for GPS, and the person I think is Johnny's.
Johnny's.
Right, that's who I had talked to on yesterday.
I believe they did talk to Johnny's judge, but I think it'd be safer to get another copy to make sure they get the right person.
Right, that's what that's what she's looking at now. And so you need to contact Johnny's, and Johnny's, once he talked to you all to try to work something out, then he's gonna contact the court. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir. I think that we will try to, when I was appointed on this case, I didn't have anything, didn't obtain the discovery until after we had this issue with the GPS. And I haven't really spoken to the prosecutor about the case. We may be able to resolve it, and if we can do that, it would certainly make it a lot easier.
Okay.
And I think just the way things went and the way I wasn't prepared, it didn't work out so that we have discussed the case.
Okay.
So what I'd ask for, Judge, is, of course, we want to get this issue with the GPS locator done, but if we could have a resetting, the not too far off future,
Okay,
see if we might be able to resolve
and
it.
what time frame are you talking about? What you think about, you say not too far off?
Well, again, I apologize. I haven't spoken to the prosecutor, but I'd say, you know, a few weeks would probably be good enough. I don't know.
I have no issue with that, Your Honor.
Okay, a few weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks or 3 weeks, something shorter than the usual time, Judge, so we can try to move this case along.
Okay, let's reset it for 2 weeks. Okay. You need to, as I mentioned to you earlier. You okay? It'll be on the
I-
20.
Do we still want it on
It don't have to be on a, we just had this on a Friday
Can we do,
because,
can we do the Wednesday of that week?
It's still on Monday.
do it on the Wednesday.
Okay.
So. And what's that day?
26th, I believe, right?
It's the 26th.
Okay, this case will be reset for 26. Now, you still need to get in contact with Janice. And because they. It's not.
So I think we have it in the office.
Okay. And because Janice is gonna call.
Sure, after,
Okay,
you understand, you have to call Johnny's today.
Yes.
Right.
And after that, John will call the judge back
right.
sometime after today, probably.
Well, maybe, and then we'll get back with you on it.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rowe. Okay, so this case is gonna be reset, what's that date again?
It works.
The February 26th of 2025. Okay. You could get your reset.
That's one.
Okay. Okay, she's gonna get you reset.
Okay,
Y'all
thank you.
could just
Judge.
have a seat. All right. That's the last one. Okay, this will conclude the court's announcement docket and the hearing docket on today of February 7th of 2025 in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Prosecutors, you are excused.
Thank you.
Mr. Grove, you and your client and his parents, grandparent is excused. This, again, will conclude the calling of the dockets in County Court at Law Number 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Judge Terrence L. Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have a blessed day.